Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is Elliott Wave Sage, and like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. I'll start out with a quick market overview as people join, and then those that want to listen to that can listen and cut out. Then I'll go into the Q&A. So let's start out. The market definitely saw a little more upside, but that was expected given the situation we're in, right? Because I said the Japanese yen needed more upside, and a bunch of other stocks on my last live stream looked like it needed more upside. So, we're not surprised. So we could start with the Japanese yen. So the Japanese yen, as you could see here, we have, one, two, three, some kind of consolidation. I could put this connector in a lot of different ways, but I just label it like this. And then we had a breakout. Just like we saw here, we should get another move higher. And you would think logically, if it behaves the same way, the market will go higher, right? I mean, the market has reversed with this yen weakness, so why would it change, right? So that's the bullish case right now that you guys can decide if that's you want to use this to kind of make you feel good going long right now. So there's that. So that's still possible. Uh, we could also still be in an X with an A, B, C connector, drop a little bit, and then rip higher. So with this breakout here, if we do that, the indices could sell off, and that may actually be a buy the dip moment in the indices for this final push higher here, which is yen weakness. So that's an opportunity potentially. What was interesting is we did get a sell-off, but we didn't really get lower indices. The other thing is we did peak out on the RSI. That's pretty over bought there on the 4-hour. So their swings are there technically to actually call it finished. But if you really look at it, I think it seems like it wants one more swing to probably bring the daily cycle up more. Uh, but I think if I was trying to short the market, and again, I'm not giving away what I'm trying to do anymore, but what I would say is if I was trying to take a short, the best probably way to time it would be right around this area of yen weakness, no matter wherever the indices are trading. Because if you look back here, this is where we started breaking down on July 10th, and I think that's where the market topped. So could it be that easy? Could it be that simple? Right? Was it that simple all along? So we'll have to wait and see, but that's important to think about as you're trading. Also, we had the UVIX also break key support here. That definitely opens you up to more downside. Even if you do get a counter trend reversal, that could support the market to go higher. But it's obviously way oversold. So when this does counter trend, it's going to be a face ripper and almost like a flash crash in the market. If you can time it right, you're going to get paid. But so far, no one's had luck timing it. The VIX as well continue on its lower low. Now there's massive support here at 1245 VIX. If we really go back to the VIX on the longer term chart, again, I showed this wedge breakout and I said, hey, when this breaks out, the market's got a big drawdown. The VIX should get up to 50, 60. It did exactly what we said it would do. But now that it's over and the move is done, what happens from here? Well, we've had similar VIX breakouts here that have completely retraced the move. But as you can see, we kind of find support constantly right around this 12, VIX 12 area constantly. So if that's where we're heading, then that's probably an area too that would be a good area to start thinking about a market reversal as well. So just see, as you can see, that this line of support here has been constant, a major line that's held time and time again. So why would it be any different now? So that's something you can look at as you're trading, is watch this VIX bleed down into this area if it can. But once it gets to around the 12, area, then I would say markets set up for a sharp spike higher if it hadn't happened already. But we've had similar breakouts, like we had one here, and then there's a bunch of consolidation. This lasted for quite a while, right? Here, and then you had one here, a breakout, and then you come back and you retrace the breakout. So you always get a retrace, but what I've noticed is typically you don't get it right away with such a big move down. So this is, if you're a bull, this could actually tell you the market could be supported for a few, at least several months or longer, as the VIX has to kind of recharge and try to make another push higher. If it does just jump from here and go even higher, that's something we've never seen historically in the market, and that has to be a massive crash if that happens. But it's nothing we've ever seen. So if the VIX behaves like it typically does, we'll come back down to 12, we'll gyrate around, and then we'll have a big break again, and then it'll just kind of fade and create kind of a new wedge, and then at some point in the future, there'll be another massive break of the wedge where it could exceed this peak. So that's, again, this supports more of a bullish case, right? But unless you believe the VIX will do something we've never seen before, where it's about to reverse and actually come out and take this high out here. Now let's start with the market. So the Dow Jones, there was a lot of ways to label this pattern here. And I had it as kind of like a triangle 4 with a fifth wave, just kind of like that. Now, if the Dow Jones wants to come back and take out the high, then we'll just have to tweak the label in slightly into like a flat or a three-wave move. So we'll have to play with it. But whatever happens, this would be a 5. Okay, so if you're a bull, you're picking up the pennies in front of the steamroller, because we all know what happens when 5. There's no dispute, and even the perma bulls won't dispute that this is a 5. So we're not talking like a whole new bull market, guys. We're talking wave 5 is it. So if we're gonna get a new push higher, we're just talking a wave 5. If that's what it is, if the market hasn't topped. This is obviously like a third wave, but that could even be the third of wave 5, and we could see something like this. Wouldn't surprise me, where you come up and then you come up just like this, and you just break the high, to make the technical break with a 5-wave move, and then the grand super cycle's over. And then there's a massive crash, and then the bulls got their wave 5, not what they were hoping for, but technically you made the 5th wave, you broke the high in an impulse. This is clearly a 3rd wave, and I like this idea, because if this idea is not what's going to happen in a bullish cycle, if 5 is going to extend, then this wave 3 eventually that we get, we'll have to be more bullish, more extreme, more euphoric than we've seen in the last week. But the VIX is almost, at 14 going on 12. It's just not possible to do that. So I believe they blew all their ammunition getting to where they are. So you have to believe either we're in 5 with a very minimal new high, marginal new high, just to complete the sequence, and then it's a massive crash, or it's back to what I said before all along, and we're about to reverse at any moment, and the market's already topped off here. Okay. SPY, I said there's really only one more bearish interpretation of this chart I can make, is right what you see in front of you, and we actually did get the reversal right where I would have expected it yesterday, right at 555.00, guys. Look at that. What did I post on my Twitter? I said that's the target I would be targeting if this is the pattern. If this is the bearish pattern, that's the target. We hit it and we've been rejected. Can it I don't know. Again, is it that easy? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see what happens in the next couple days. But hey, I liked that reversal on the shorter time frame, right at the target, right where I would have expected it if this is the count. Now, if this is the count, guys, the target breakdown would be SPY 500, 496, 488 in the final leg lower. And the next couple weeks are going to be horrific in the market. And Jackson Hole is going to be a calamity where he disappoints. And I think there is a lot of pent-up bullishness hoping for, like they called, an appetizer of a rate cut. I think people are too, like, the expectations are too high going into that. I think he's going to slap the market back down. I wouldn't be surprised to get a big sell-off after his speech, because the market is just set up for disappointment coming out of it. That would be perfect timing to reverse. And then when we go into the rate cuts in September, he could be the hero and get us out of that. Or it just collapses and it's over, right? So we don't know. But we also have monkeypox we're dealing with, guys. That's going to start to weave into the trading. Very deflationary. We all know how that trades. We'll go into that later. And you have a recession, I think, that is building. So you have all these headwinds, and we have a lot of bullish energy wasted. So there could be an easy turn down any moment. But if you are bullish, with the yen going higher, maybe you can make a new high with a 4 and a 5, and then that's it. The triple Qs, same thing. My target is still not tapped yet. I'm looking for 470, like 77.5. We'll see if that can get there. IWM is at target. It started to reverse on Friday, finding sellers. It's probably going to have a hard time pushing out of this area. This was a trade opportunity for bears. If you think the market is bearish, you had a trade sitting right in front of your face with TZA or lab down. They were sitting right in your lab down kind of trades with the Russell, and so there you go. Now, of course, the bulls would say it's just going to go to new highs and we're hitting 250, but I believe this is so severe, it reset the whole cycle. So actually taking this high out would have a much bigger implications for the whole market. So I almost want to back into the high here and not expect that. So there you go. So we'll see what the Russell can do next week. China is still finishing up this B wave. Should be finished at any moment here. We are looking at, it could push a little bit higher, but I do think it's going to reverse at any moment to get that wave finished. That will bring us more downside in the market eventually. Okay. All right. Let's take a look one more time at everything. Let's see here. Yeah, I still looking for more downside. If we get more follow through on this move next week, then what we'll have to label it like this, and then this won't be a target anymore. I'll go even deeper, and then this would be a WXY like this. If it goes a little bit higher, and we'll do that later. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're trading it, and we'll have to watch it and play out and see what happens there. Bitcoin is, again, it's desperate for people to buy it. It doesn't want to sell off. There's a big, moon boy crowd that has, $100,000, $500,000 Bitcoin in their dreams. But those dreams just aren't going to happen until Bitcoin taps 42,000. So they're eventually going to give up, and then we'll get this drop. But I think it's going to be a slow, choppy grind in Bitcoin, meandering its way down, eventually hitting this target, and wild, erratic price action. Hard to short, hard to long. It's almost like just ignore it and try to come back later. There was a short entry here that people may have took, and you could just stay short as long as you're below 62,000. So good luck with that if you took it. Oil took a massive dump right at the end of the day here, so we may have already started our signs of our wave 3. If this is starting out on our wave 3 journey, then the market should be accelerating down in the next coming weeks. This, I think, is because they said Iran backed down and they chickened out, and so there's no more need for high oil prices. But I think there's a lot of other factors going into it. Silver did go higher, like we said, but now it's in an area where it could reverse. Gold made our high that we were looking for. Remember, I said 25,000. We're at a 5 of a 5. I could label it as a 5. So gold is a major warning sign, guys. Everyone is talking about gold. I've seen, euphoria from the gold bugs that have owned gold since, 40 years ago. They finally have the day they dreamed of, right at a perfect wave 3 top. So this is not an area that I would want to FOMO in, because look what's coming. Holy shit. Yeah, that's coming. And that coincides with the market sell-off I expect. Risk off. And that, again, this 3 matches with this 2. So it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get another 5. And then we get an even bigger sell-off. So gold will be sideways consolidating for the next year and a half or so. And people will leave it, they'll forget it, they'll think it's dead, it's not moving. And then later in the back end of the decade, gold will have its $5,000 an ounce moment. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to happen right now. I think we're at a wave 3 peak, where we have peak enthusiasm, euphoria, and moon boy dreams. I see people posting 10,000 an ounce and shit like that. That's not happening, I don't think. I just don't think it is. A cycle doesn't support it. Okay, dollar index. If this is the count, we should be ready for a big spike higher. That would be big. Gold will get crushed, silver crushed, all the metals, oil crushed. That's perfect. This is perfect. This is what I'm hoping to see. Now, of course, if we break 102.4, dollar weakness comes in, and what I probably have to do is relabel it again, in the triangles negate it. So that's something that's important. It's a very important battle happening in the dollar index right now. Because if the dollar index can break down, then it's not a triangle, and it'll be like this 5-wave move. Like I'm thinking like a 1, 2, like a 3, 4, 5, and then a big rally, and then down. So just change the nature of it, but it ultimately will have a little more weakness. Maybe the market support it, and then a big rally higher, market sell off, and then a big drop. But ultimately, you're going to get a big drop. This big drop should be commodity boom, oil boom, Bitcoin moon, all that. That's what this should be. That wave 5 in gold, or maybe it does extend in 5. We'll have to wait. But I think you got to sell off in the dollar index coming here, as long as this low breaks. But it's a big battle going on. I covered the yen. The 10-year should see some more weakness coming. Again, that's been risk off typically. The 20-year, same thing. Nothing's easy. Hard to, you're short here. You get back up, so it's just choppy, erratic price action, but I believe the general direction is still lower. All right, so I went through the entire stock market, guys, just to give you an overview of where I think things are trading. There is a bullish case to be made on the shorter cycles. The yen and VIX support higher markets. Stocks like Amazon look like it needs more upside. There's other stocks also looks like it needs more upside. That could get us maybe just enough to break this high, and then we crash later. So the bulls have got to be careful what they wish for. They wished for this dream pump, but in the end, it ended the grand super cycle a lot earlier and finished the sequence for the crash that they all dread. And it also causes mass complacency, because when we do crash, they're just going to pile back in thinking it's like August 5th, but this time it won't be, and you'll bounce like this, but then it'll go even lower and lower, and they'll lose everything thinking the market will behave the same way. So now the market has conditioned people to buy the dip, and they've given them a bad habit when we do finally peak, and if this peak in this 5. Now, if you're a bull, a real bull, you want to see a wipeout here, and then you can get a good bottom to really get a big run up, and possibly even your moon boy scenario is in play. So if you believe in moon boy, you really need another leg lower, and you could get a moon boy possible because of the way the VIX setup is. If we can make a lower high in the VIX when we do that, then you can make the argument the VIX corrected the whole cycle from 22 blue, which means the market could have years of upside ahead of it, moon boy scenario. But if we don't do that and we just make a small high, then the VIX actually could come back, retrace, and even break the high that we had on August 5th on this move down, which would be detrimental to a bullish case. So I do think, again, it felt good for the bulls in the short term, but it may have blown the long term for them by giving it by the way this played out. But hey, that's the way it goes technically. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's at a very important moment. Okay, let me go to your super chats, guys. Thanks again. I'll go ahead and jump into it. Mike, yeah, I'll go into yours. I try to keep the super, even though I get the super chats, I like, we need to keep it to like 3 or 4 symbols, because if you get too many symbols, then it's not fair to everyone else. I had people complaining to me the other day that people are just taking advantage of the super chat and just putting too many symbols. But I'm like, I don't limit it. I never do, because I just do what people feel like they need. But I think we'll just need to kind of like say like 4. I'll do the 5, but after, I think going forward, I think 4 is the most, because it's just not fair, because other people get angry, and if they get angry, I have to deal with this shit in my inbox, and then you don't have to deal with it, I do. So so anyway, the monkeypox stuff, guys, I posted those trades, and the rest is history. Okay, so that also shows you perseverance as a trader. Okay, UVIX, you lose money, you stop out, you just go to the next trade, you hit a home run, it's up 50, 60% in 24 hours. You don't give a shit about UVIX anymore, because you just made back twice as much. So you see, that's how a trader survives this game. You use your stop loss, you don't worry about what happened, and you find the next trade. And we found the next trade. I put it on my live stream. It all worked for everybody. I had no idea it was going to work in 24 hours. That was crazy, crazy how people got in. But we got in early, if you follow me. I also posted it on my Twitter before my video. So anyway, all right, so you got a connector here in some kind of ABC correction. And, somewhere around there's the low. So we could just say we're bullish off this bottom here, and then just kind of try to see if we're in a corrective sequence or reactive. So here we go. So right away when you see this, you don't see the divergence there. So it's a very corrective move. So there's no guarantee you'll come back and take out this high. So you have to label it as 3 swings. It have to be labeled as 3 swings here. Just like that. This looks like 5 down to me. So it looks like to me it's going to reverse and go lower. Again, something like this. And then it did a flat here. And we should see more downside. That's what I'm thinking we're going to see. Let's take a look at this wave. Yeah, look, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it's extending more actually. So I think there's more extension coming. Even if it takes this high out. Yeah, I guess looking at it again, I'm looking at 5 waves here. So perhaps it's this. We'll do something like this. So if you could take this high out, then this is in play. This is in play here, where you come up and then you have another big move down. Something like, and I would just change the labeling like this. So we'll just kind of change the labeling. And then you have something like, let's see here, hold on. A, B, C, yeah, so we'll put the A there, the B there, and then we'll just say that's 3. So the reason I say that is I look at this, it's probably gonna push higher, and you're gonna probably break this high. So that's why I'm going with this kind of count based on what I'm seeing, something like this. So I think you'll get something like this and then a drop back down for X and then another big move higher in Y. So that's what I think you're going to see play out in this. So I think you'll have more upside. You need to finish impulse, and it seems like it's just continuing to try to extend out. And I mean, if I look at that, there's a lot more extension that's going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if this B comes all the way back up to like 323, 340 here. Okay. So I think it's going to do something like that. So this looks like it's got more of a pump, but then the pump's going to be dumped. It's going to be dumped, and then people will revisit it again later for another big ass pump. Okay, but this doesn't look like a good bottom, not good off the low. So I'm not thinking it's like a whole new bull market, like, you know. So, but I think it's something like that. All right, Fubu. It's an old one that we had looked at before it made some technical breakdowns. And then we've pretty much ignored it ever since. Oh, looks like we finally got a reaction here. What do you know? Look at that. It held the structure. So Fubu's in a bullish sequence here, guys, a bullish setup. Here you got one. Now, see, this is only 3 waves up. So it's either a lead-in diagonal coming out or it's corrective. Okay? So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Or it could just be this. And then it goes all the way, that's it. So with that break, you know, we should expect, I think, more upside. Well, though, look, we 164. Let's look at the swings and see where it. So here you see you got 1, 2, 3. You only have 1, but maybe it's 1, 2, 3. That's your swing. 1, 2, 3. So yeah. So let's label this again here, and we'll say it's like an A, B, C, an A, B, C, and then down is let's see here. Hold on. W, so corrected the whole move there. Okay. So, A, yeah, so then you would put this here. So, yeah, I guess it's missing a swing still because looking at the RSI, it looks like it's there, it's there. So we need something like this. So I'd be looking for something like that. Hard to say how high it will go, but it seems like you're going to need a pullback, you know, that's noticeable on the 4-hour and then another high to finish this out properly. Then after that, it's anyone's guess because it could be a lead-in diagonal, comes out, it could be something else, but it's definitely bullish. It's a buy the dip. It's buy the dips, okay? Buy the dips. So some news must have hit or something to turn this around like that. All right, PL, platinum futures. Oh, is that what you want? Hold on. Planet Labs. All right. So reset the cycle, a lot of divergence. So it's some impulse coming down here, or it's not finished the leg. Let's see, we corrected the whole move there. Yeah, so I think you just got to label this as like an impulse down that's finished. So yeah, so that's how I would label it. Now, this 4 corrected the whole move. So we're going to have to change the way we think about this because this looks like it's like that. 5 down would correct the move. So we're going to say it's a ABC correction like that. And then you're correcting the cycle like you see here. But the problem is there's so much divergence. More than likely, this move, whenever it ends, and this could go up for a while, we don't know. Whenever it ends, is going to fail, and this will go lower wherever this ends. So I don't. What we do know is we have a reversal. We have a reversal, and so now you just have to kind of chart it from that low as a reversal until eventually it fails, but we don't know when it will. We just know at some point it will. Let's see that real quick. That's important. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Looks like it's about to have a wave 3 breakout. All right, good luck on that one. Riley, let's see here. Riley, where is Riley? I know we've done that before. Yeah, Riley, we nailed this one. We said the big breakdown was imminent. We got it. I think I read somewhere that they're closing up shop, that they sold their company. Yeah, receives unsolicited proposal to be taken private. So if that's the case, this shit isn't going to trade. It's going to be dead. You won't really move anymore. So it may not be tradable. $7 a share proposal. I guess they don't believe it because we'd be trading at 7. So because of that, it may be over. It may be that's it. So he's like, he wants to get rid of it because he sees what we see. He's like, he sees us going to the abyss. And we said, we called this, we saw the technicals play out way up here. So I think now that it's getting private equity buyout offers and shit like that, you can't be in it because they could bid it up even, or he could just sell it and then I don't even know what happens to your money. I guess you have to wait to the close and then you get your money or something. Like I wouldn't trade this anymore now that that kind of news is out. It's like, but it's obviously still going low. It's going lower unless he gets a buyout, that's a little bit higher price. Looks like he got $7 a share. But the market didn't even trade back up there because they probably don't believe the deal will go through. All right, SPRC. So right away when you see that, if you break that low, it's essentially a go to zero chart. But there could be spikes. There's always potential for spikes. Let's see how it's going here. Yeah, I can't really get a good Fibonacci level target, but let's look at the RSIs. So you have your daily cycle RSI. I mean, it's so hard to label this, but if you follow this daily cycle, you see that as soon as you see that breakthrough, it's going to have a big ass pump. So the way to do this is just wait. And then when you see the daily cycle breakout, which you're starting to do, you see the divergence there, starting to play out, and then boom, it'll have a breakout of this, and then you'll be corrected this whole move. Should be a pretty big pump. But that's what I would do to time it, because trying to label this is impossible almost. But I mean, we could try to just label this wave down and see it's like a 1-2. See if we can label this wave and see where we are. Looks like one more low. It needs like one more low. Maybe I already had it. That may have been it right there, that one more low. But we don't have to cut the daily cycle confirmation, but I like those candles. Look at those candles right there on the 4 hour. Let's look at the daily. Yeah. Maybe that's it. Pump on this if it's correcting the whole daily cycle. Let me see here. Which daily cycle are we correcting? Correcting this whole thing. So could see $5 or $6. That's pretty big. That's big penny stock pump and dump right there. If you get it, if you're lucky, you could see it's done big pumps before, but this one will be way bigger than these because of the cycle it's correcting. Let's look at the weekly cycle. Oh hell, even the weekly cycle may break here. You see this bullish divergence right there? Yeah, see the weekly cycle's turning up. So the pump on this could be epic if you time it right. Good luck on this. Yeah, I don't even know what these guys do, but again, what happens is people get too bearish. They shorts need to cover. Some good news drops, and then everyone freaks out and wants to buy it. What are they, like a medical? Oh, cannabis? Yeah, I don't know. So that's what I say. That's my assessment on this one. Good luck with that. All right, Thomas, let's go to yours. Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin is in very erratic price action. Ultimately, I feel like it will go lower before it goes higher. Ultimate target is at 42,000, 40,000. Lower prices are supported with breakdown in Dogecoin. Ethereum needs a lower swing as well in this fifth wave. So there's a lot of signs that says Bitcoin should go down. But I always point out Bitcoin, if you're day trading it, look at this W. This W leg took March 11th to April 30th, okay, over about a month and a half. And look at the erratic price action. Erratic, ultimately going lower. We're in a Y leg. We started on July 29th, so a month and a half would be around mid-September. Okay, we went down, we went up. I believe it's going to be erratic. It could even go up and down and up and down, but I believe it's still going lower. But the shorter time frame is almost impossible based on where we are to guess it. So the only setup we had in trading it was a 3-wave move here, and I gave that. Then we came down in 3. Then we came up in 3 here, and then you had another entry. Very low risk, high reward short entry that's paid off so far. And then if we take this out, then of course it's going to swing up to 68, but it's probably just going to fail again hard. So it's just going to be real erratic, really erratic. And then even if it breaks 62,000, if you go back to this leg here, if you go back here where you came down, and look, you just came up. See how you broke 71? You just came up, and then you broke down hard. So it could do the same thing. It may not go to 68. It may just come up to 64 and then break down hard. So this is not something like there was a setup for a trade here, but after that, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think the best thing to do is just be patient and wait for these lower areas that should be tagged eventually. Okay, aluminum. Yeah, I'm kind of curious on aluminum because that was a major breakout, sending a warning sign to the world markets if it broke down. We were keeping a close eye on it, right? Because we were right on the edge of a cliff with aluminum, and they've held it. See that? Look, it's held. Did not break these lows, these pivots. Very important. And we're rallying off of a three-wave decline. Very, very important for the overall health of the world market because if that breaks, that's going to open us up to prices all the way down to 900. That's got to be a deflationary collapse. Now, it still can happen. It still can happen, and this could be five down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and break, we could break the low and then rip higher. So it could do something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make the technical break. Everyone gets so bearish, and then it rips, and then we crash later. So just be careful of that. But it is bouncing here. You do have three. You could get another three and then another three. So it's in sideways action, not really tradable. But what I'm interested in is whether it can go below 22,060 dollars, I guess an ounce, if that's what that is, or something, or not an ounce. I don't know. However they measure it on the COMEX there. Um, then GDX. If we believe gold is about to peak in wave 3 and get this pullback, then you have to assume GDX is about to pull back as well. If you don't believe it, if you believe in Moonboy and gold, then you don't want to listen to what I'm going to say. So you have to decide which you believe in. I'm just showing you what I think could play out, but we just never know. We just never know how these things go. All right, so GDX. Let's see here. GDX. So GDX is in a connector wave, in a flat that should be ending at any moment. So this is no longer a valid buy area. So I'm looking for one more swing down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have divergence? Yeah, yes, we do. So this should be ready to reverse at any moment. Any moment. Theoretically, it could still go a little higher, but that's what I think, and that lines up with everything I said. And then you get this deep enough correction where you really want to see it get back to 31, and then you could have gold miners really take off. Now, even if this makes a new all-time all high here, I still think it's going to get a pullback. So just again, it's a very erratic area. It's all about gold itself, but if gold is peaked in a big high degree wave 3 top, this won't go up. It's going to go down. It's got to. And if the dollar index goes up, this will go down. So it all depends on those forecasts. If those don't work out, this will go higher, and then yeah, you'll have to put 2 here, and then it's off to the races. And then we'll see that, and then you could just get in on like a little 15-minute dip. If on the 15-minute chart you see a little pullback, then just get long and then just ride this all the way up. So that's the way to play this GDX right now. But buying here is real risky. It's real risky. But I would rather get more confirmation of like a dollar index breakdown, gold, erasing divergence. Then maybe you could like try to buy the dip here and get in on this wave 3 breakout. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's look at this other one. WECO. Some clean energy funds. They're not doing that great these days, I don't think. Clean energy stocks, yeah. Let's take a look here. So we had this 5, and then we tried to come off the low and failed. Very bearish because let's see. Let's look at the monthly. All right, so we're still in the same corrective cycle. So wave 5 extended. It looks like. Let's see here. And we did reverse that. but we did not take that peak out. We took that 4 out. So in the monthly, yeah, wave 5, I'm just going to say it's an extension in 5 is what's happening. So it's obviously got to go lower. And it looks like you're going to break these lows. And once you do, the bullish cases negate it. And in this pattern, when you look at it from a big picture, double top, some neckline, you break it, it could be like massive wipeout. So like I wouldn't, I'm not saying like green energy is, bad or all, but this doesn't look like it's a good investment opportunity once you get that break, and it looks like it's going to break it at any moment, which makes sense. If oil's going to go down, the economy's slowing down, you got MPOX out there impacting things, you got all this stuff. Do you think people are going to be worrying about plug-in hybrids and windmills and shit like that? Probably not. They're going to be buying oil and gas when you go fill your tank again for under $50, and everyone's going to be happy because oil's cheap. It's be deflation. And so this stock does not work in deflationary environments. It just doesn't work. And the green energy stuff does not work in a oil down, risk off environment. It never has. So that's what this is showing. I think the TAN has to get to 20. I see downside in Tesla. I see downside across all the green industry stocks. I see nothing as a buy. So I would say this chart looks like this index is toast. Good luck with that. All right, Bama. Yeah, appreciate that. Look forward to the upcoming subscription service, Fubu, back from the dead. Another very tricky to see. Let's circle back to Fubu and look at the long-term stochastic, like the RSI on that, because maybe it's breaking out of a bigger cycle, which could give us an indication it's not a dead cat bounce. Not a dead cat bounce. Again, I don't know how important fundamentally this news must have been for them. All right, start with the monthly. All right, monthly cycle. I try to do my best here. There. That's what I'd be watching. If you could break this pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder on the monthly RSI, this isn't a dead cat bounce. This thing's gonna pump. So keep an eye on that. But right now you don't have that all clear. So that's not good. That's like your secular bull market type chart. Okay. Let's go to the weekly. Oh, so close. So if we break the weekly, then it's a very tradable long opportunity. Right? It could probably come all the way back up. So Fubu is not like a green light yet, but it's something you should definitely be on your watch list for meme stocks to keep an eye on. And if you're a gambler, you can buy it here, and maybe you'll get an hour early, and you get those breakouts, and then this thing is a 10 bagger for you, and you did well. So good luck on that. All right, Joel. Yeah, I'll do CEDG. SEDG. All right, so again, another chart that broke down. Let's see here. Probably just an extension in wave 5 continuing. Yeah, so the 4-hour chart. So here's the thing, there's your peak. There's your peak. And if you look, depending on how you draw it, I could say we haven't broke out. So I could say this is still the same cycle. I would say that. So it's just a wave 5 extension. So, but it's so close. The 4-hour is way overdue for a breakout to reset and correct this leg. This leg is way overdue for a correction, okay? So it's coming any moment. And then the 1 hour, let's take a look. If we can learn from the 1 hour. So there's around your cycle low. Then you come up here. So there's like a 1, 2 right around here somewhere. And then you come back down, there's your 3. And then this is your some kind of 4 right here. And then you bust out and you took this out. So it looks like you got the reverse. My guess is your reversal's happening right now. That's your 5. Looking at the 1 hour, the 1 hour showing you that you're starting to turn. So I bet it's starting its reversal. I think it's going to impulse out of this. You'll see the divergence. So I think you'll get something like this that comes out of it. You know, something like this. That's what you're looking for. A pullback. And then out. So I wouldn't put the 3 here because it doesn't look like it's complete yet. So it's still not all clear, but it does look good and promising that you'll get something like this, like this, like this. And then a pullback and out. So looking at those charts, it looks like the 4 hour is ready to explode out. The 1 hour is already turned, giving you an indication that perhaps it's moving up. And that's how I trade it. So you got to go long. You got to try to go long on this, on dips against this low at 1977. But, you know, the way the 4 hour is, it may not dip that much. It may just, this could become another like 1, 2, 1, 2, just kind of big pump out. So I'm just giving you like the most conservative view on how to label it. But it looks like to me it's turned. Okay. All right, Anonymous, let's look at that. Let's go to your stocks and crypto. Yeah, we'll have to look at the MIGI real quick here. How's that going? So if that's a C, you have, so a couple things here in this kind of pattern. It could be a run-in flat. If it is, it's already finished because you have your impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but you'll need to see the divergence of risk on the higher time frames, and let's see what we got. See, not even close. Look at that, not even close. So this has to come all the way down and take that out on the daily, at least the daily. So because of that, I still think there's more downside coming, and this is just the wave 2 of the cycle. It's just the wave 2, and we still have 3, 4, 5 to go. So it's like wave 2. Now wave 2 could still make another swing higher in 3, but that could present a short opportunity for those brave enough to take it. And I'll show it here. Maybe at 177, 186 you have, I guess, this gap fill area, it looks like to me. We'll see if that happens. And then it hits that area and it gets obliterated. So it's one possibility, one path, or it could already be done here. So I think it's more downside. And then LTC, let's see, well, I'll go to BCHG first. This one is, yeah, kind of meandering its way down. It could be a crash formation, 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come back up. So too many possibilities, but looking at the divergences, again, we'll go to the daily cycle. You see, that's why I bought it here, right? Because look, that's pretty good, but you know, that's a nice divergence. But when you go to actually Bitcoin Cash to coin, I don't like what I'm seeing. So, and we only have 3 off that low. So I think it's going to actually come back and take this out, this bottom out. I think it's going to take it out. So that's my thoughts on divergence. Now, from a divergence trader, this is exactly what you want to see, right? You want to see that here, and you got it, okay? But the reaction's not complete to me because, again, if you're looking at the swings, if I could try to do this right. So this W, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however, sorry, A, B, C, that's how to do it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C, W. But look, here you just have 1, 2, you need at least one more down. It's just not, it just doesn't, it's too, it needs another push. So the divergence has to get erased. Just like I said, I think the swings are incomplete, and that's why I'm not a buyer here. And I'll wait. Okay? Good luck on that. And then LTCN. Where this be? I mentioned could come up to 1434. So just be ready for that. Let's look at the divergences on this one. Again, really nice. You love that, right? It looks beautiful. How can it get more oversold than this? It can't, right? It just can't. Let's look at the weekly. But see, the weekly, plenty of room to go. So the daily, it's hard to believe, it's probably going to take this out. It's going to take this out. So it's going to be even more panic soon in Litecoin. And it makes sense because Litecoin is running out of room on the coin itself, because Litecoin here is running out of room. You break 41.25, whales are going to panic. The money tree is over. Litecoin's money tree comes to an end. The whales have used Litecoin as a money tree since 2017. That's why it doesn't go anywhere. And I see these guys, I don't follow them on this YouTube. I used to. The Litecoin whales that own like hundreds of thousands of Litecoin or more, they're laughing their asses off and showing Lambos and shit as these pumps. This is a money tree, guys. They're just money tree for the Litecoin. And what's happening is they're so complacent. We need those whales to panic. We need a Ripple-like panic. Remember when Ripple crashed and everyone panicked out of that shit? That's what has to happen in Litecoin. Those whales need to get blown up, or some of them need to be blown up. We need panic in the whales to get this to the thousands of dollars. And I believe if this low breaks at 40, you're going to get that panic. This whole thing will top, and then you're going to see this box hit, and you're going to have a massive flat. An A, a B, and a C. And it's going to come all the way down. It may even go back to single digits. So I'm just saying Litecoin is in a very dangerous spot because of how low it came, and there's no more room. There's no margin for error technically in Litecoin. You break 39.78, it's game over, man. And the whales, trust me, they'll panic because they've been too complacent. They're laughing their asses off at people. Like, that's why, look, crypto moons. And Litecoin couldn't even make a hot base because they're just dumping it. It's a money tree for these whales. It's just a money tree. But the whales need to panic. The whales need to get scared, capitulate, and then maybe, just maybe, Litecoin can find a bottom to actually get it to higher prices. Until then, they're just selling into this, and you're funding their lifestyle. I'm telling you guys, I followed these guys on Twitter on stuff, man. I used to. They're just laughing their asses off every time it pumps. You just gave them a Lambo. You just gave them a new whatever. That's what's happening here. That's why I don't like personally like the fundamental on the coin, because back here, and I remember back here when this went on Coinbase, and people were loading the F up on Litecoin here. They were loading up, and they have hundreds of thousands of these things now. They got so many coins, it's not even funny. They got way more coins than you could ever imagine, and they're dumping this, and you're just helping fund that lifestyle. But they need to panic. They need to leave the market. Then I think Litecoin can build. I had been saying it. I was hopeful here, but now when you see how low it went, one more swing down, you break it, you'll get a massive collapse. That's what's going to happen. Okay? So I'm just warning you about being long Litecoin. You're a lot of danger. There's a lot of danger in this chart. I'm just telling you guys now. There's a lot of danger in that chart. Go be in Solana. That's a lot better. That chart looks a lot better to me. There's other coins that look a lot better, but I'm saying Litecoin looks a lot of danger to me, and so you gotta keep an eye on that. All right, Jeff, HNT Helium on coin. That's a new one. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard of that one. uh, on Coinbase. Helium coin. Okay, cool. I love new crypto coins I don't know about. All right, looks like a nice 5-wave move up. Beautiful divergence. So this is a beautiful impulse off the low. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful. Problem is the bottom is not good. So you have a bottom that's probably going to fail at some point. But that's all good. We'll figure it out here. So it looks like to me you've got more upside coming in this 1-2. Yeah, see, I think it's gonna go higher because unless is that the 3? No, that's just the first wave off the low. So something like this, very bullish in the short term, but then a massive rug pull will be waiting at some point when the C is over. It could even come back up to $10 even. So, but this probably will fail. It could even break this high technically, and then when it does, it's gonna make a whole nother swing down, something like that. But shorter, I think it's going higher. I think it's gonna go higher now. When I look at this here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe let's go to a daily. Yeah, see, this was a full cycle reset in three waves. I'm just going to label it like this. Let me go to the 15-minute and look at that wave 1 real quick. Or 45 would be better there. There's your peak. So see, this could be the 4 and the 5 right there. It could be a really tight impulse where it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So I'm going to leave it labeled this way for now, but I think it's got more upside coming soon, okay? But then a rug pull. Khalid, Sava, let's look at Sava. All right. So we're still shorter time frame, looking for more upside in this 5th wave, and then a massive drop coming. All right, so it seems like it wants to make one more high, and then that's it. There's really no change to the forecast that we have here. No change. Okay. GME. So GME, I kind of gave away to trade that on my other live streams, the last couple I've given. And as long as the market's supported, I think GME is okay. Now, I did mention you have a corrective move, no divergence. So this is a corrective wave. The market is stuck. There's a stalemate. Think about, you know, 2 poker players at the side looking at each other. The pot is pretty big, but nobody's ready to call, or you know, we're getting close to a big move. You could take this high out, then everything's good. You don't, it could go all the way back down. You could break this low and go to the lower targets that I had mentioned earlier. You know, down at 13. But there's no change. It's just stuck. The price is stuck because there's a lot at stake technically. There's a lot at stake. And the market hasn't decided, look, 3, 3, 3. We don't know. It's frozen. We don't know. So we don't know. Unfortunately, I can't predict the future. You know, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not an astrologer. You know, I didn't see like, a crow fly on my run today, which gives me a sign to be bullish. I don't look at omens. Like there's no way to know what's going to happen. Our future isn't predestined. Like some human being is either going to buy a shitload of this and pump it or they're not. But the chart is telling you whatever is going to happen, it's going to be a big move. Okay? One way or the other. So place your bets. I give you the market forecast. I give you the Russell forecast, what I see out there, and now you just have to decide what you want to do. I think GME is a very tough call here, and it's very 50-50, but I believe it's big move either way when it plays out. Okay, so maybe a straddle is what you need to do here. Buy put, buy a call. Then watch the breakout and dump the other position and let the other one ride. I mean, maybe that's how you do it. I don't trade options, so but I know enough about them to be dangerous, so maybe that's how you do it. Okay, silver. Silver is an interesting spot because the thesis on gold, either if the metals have topped in a big cycle and pulled back, silver should pull back, right? That's the thesis. Now, if that thesis is wrong, silver will go higher, obviously. So here's the problem I've got with silver. Okay, we have 3 waves up. Cool. We need a 5th wave. Well, that's what we're hoping for here, right? Bulls are hoping for. Problem is you had 1, 2, you had 3 down. You pumped, and then you failed. You broke that low, okay? So you broke that low. Not a big deal, technically. We'll check in a minute if we erase divergence or not. And we did. So that's cool. So maybe your 4 is going to be here. So if you're a bull, this is what you're hoping for. Okay? You're hoping for this. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Okay, then this is negated, right? It's gone. No more flat. $14 silver will never happen in our lifetime again. Then it pulls back like this. Back down to like 21. Okay? That is very doable and possible. But gold's already peaked. The dollar index wants to rip higher. Oil is about to dump. The markets should turn over. All these things should happen. So why would silver do this? Unless all those things are wrong. So I label it this way. And so that's why I label it this way. But if you believe in silver, you could just, like I said, I told you guys it did need to extend. When we were here and we broke 28, we're like, oh, it's going higher. And it went higher. Now it's in an area where it can reverse. Now it's in an area where the sellers can come in and drop this thing. But like we've seen before, it could still push up. So we have either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, like I originally had. Something like this. Right? And then we're coming up. And either 2 is done now. And like gold and silver both, they dump. Like that. That's very possible. The other alternative, 2 could keep going higher. Could come all the way back up to even 31 even. So tough to say. And then we dump later. But when I just looking at this, I don't want to get into a 4 and a 5 yet, given all the evidence I see across the market on all those other things I mentioned. So the daily cycle has more room to run higher. The 4-hour looks pretty topped. So could it do this? Maybe it does this. Something like that. Why don't we go with that? I think that's probably more realistic for now. Something like that. So the SLV ETF should kind of do the same thing. So that's why I'm showing you the dollar here, because it's kind of the same trade, right? It mirrors the price movement of it. So pull back, and then you come up, and then you drop. Okay? And then I think the SLV ETF is similar, if I remember right, but for the most part. Let's see, SLV. How's silver doing? Oh, I always go to the wrong one here. Commodities. All right, silver. Again, I haven't changed the labeling on this from the old. There's your 5. Okay, so this one looks pretty good for a 5, right? This actually looks a lot better to me. So this is the ETF. So again, what do you believe? 4, or do you believe in a flat? This looks like just very different than the price. So I don't really, I think it's going to go, I think it won't make the 5. I think it's going to just break down. But when you look at this, it looks like it should be able to do it. So I guess it's up to you. You'll have to decide which one you want to go after. But whatever it is, once you make 5, you know what's coming. A huge move lower. Okay, so good luck on trading it. I would say, though, looking at the metal price and structure, don't be surprised if this doesn't happen. And then this just breaks down. And this was it was peaked like that. And then it just breaks down. And this was a flat in 1, 2, 3. And it just breaks down. And it does that. Okay, and a deflationary risk-off collapse. But again, I don't think I have it here because I hadn't updated this chart yet. But this was the old chart on silver before we had all this new information. But still, even the old chart says it's wave 5. It's it. Once you make a high, it's over. So, all right, Bama, 7-year bonds. Yeah, how's that? How the bonds doing? 7 years. 7-year bond. Let's take a look. So 7-year bonds is very interesting because this is a different chart than the other bonds, right? Look, 3 waves. It's no flat here. No flat here. And it hit the buy area. Massive divergence arrest. So this is something that's interesting to me. Why would the 7-year show signs of a bottom while the others need a little more downside? Because let's look at the 10-year. The 10-year, from a price standpoint, again, my swings could be off, but from a price standpoint, I'd like to see 3.5. 3.5, okay? But once we hit there, the bonds may be it. It may be in a higher rate environment after that. So maybe the 7-year is telling us we're too bullish on bonds, but let's look at this leg and see if it's finished or not. So, looking at it, it looks like we should have some kind of 5-wave move down and an ABC correction of some kind. Right? 1, 2. Yeah, so it's going lower. It's actually not finished, but it's coming to the end of the correction. See that? So it's got to play all this out. It's got to play all that out. Just like that. All right, so I think it's got more downside in rates, just like the other ones do. But as you know, that's what's coming. And when 2 is set, we're going to much higher rates than people can even contemplate. And maybe we're starting to see the reasons for that because I think Harris put out her economic plan, very inflationary. Look, I'm not saying I'm for her or against her. I'm just saying the reality of her plan is going to cause inflation. It's going to cause inflation, guys. It's inevitable if you're going to do that and give out all that free money. And I'm sure our interest rates will go higher as bondholders demand more for their money. So maybe this chart is telling us who's going to win the election. Right, but I don't know, but what this is telling me is we got higher rates coming in the future. Could it be higher because of inflation, because of a debt crisis, of a constitutional crisis, government, geopolitical? We don't know, but what is coming in the future is going to be pretty horrible when it comes to interest rates. I mean, seriously, if you guys have fixed rate debt, you need to be thinking about how do I want to refinance that shit, and what do I want to lock in, because Like if this plays out, and again, I can be wrong, but if this wave 3 plays out, I mean, we're looking at rates, you know, let's see. Just looking at rates going to maybe 8%, 9%, as high as 10% if we're lucky. And then if we get a 4 and a 5, we'll probably hit 12% before we get a bigger collapse. As the whole system probably breaks down, because there's no, I mean, how does the government work at that kind of high interest rate? So again, just reporting the weather I see. I don't know what will cause it, but I'm just saying we have an impulse off the low. We need another move higher. It's coming. Even if I'm wrong here about timing and 2 drops a little more, this is coming. It's coming. Get ready. I mean, people hate at rates now. Oh, what is gonna happen when rates are up here? Good luck. But that's coming. Unfortunately, the chart's the chart. So I wish it was different, but that's the forecast for now. But for right now, we got short-term drop, and I think a deflationary risk-off environment coming, with rates being cut. But then maybe at some point they can't cut anymore because inflation comes roaring back, and they have to, you know, go into a stagflation mode or something. I don't know. All right, Thomas, NHY. Let's go to yours, NHY. Looks like we've done that one before. NHY is in a buy-in area right now. Yeah, NHY is a buy right now. As long as it's really actually a low risk, high reward setup for a long position, as long as you stay above 53.18. It looks like you did. So now put your stop at 54.48. Boom. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. All right, XLV. XLV is healthcare, I think. Looking for this peak in 5. Should happen at any moment. Massive bearish divergence. There's your 3-5 divergence in 5. Any moment. Looks like you're in a 5 of 5 here. 1, 2. There you go. Healthcare, major warning. Wave 5, wave 5. So get ready. All right, SLIJ. Again, it's all about that. You heard the silver forecast, so it just depends on the short-term move of how silver is going to move in terms of like where this will go. But ultimately, it should have another correction that will materialize. Let's see here. So as you can see, this bounce is too extreme to be a 4. We did pull back, but we're not in an impulse yet down. So we're in a more complex correction. So my guess is we'll continue sideways for a little bit. So we're going to be in a complex correction like that. So I think you obviously got more upside. So if silver can hit its wave 5 peak at 31.32, X probably comes back up, you know, up to this area here that I have circled 13 area, and then when silver peaks in 5, boom, it drops in its Y, or it just you know, silver dumps and this is just a connector and it drops. If it does that, you know, it's easy to find the target, right? You just come in and you just kind of, you know, just draw it down, and you can kind of get the target around $8 down in this area. So we'll have to wait and see where the connector wave goes in silver. We still don't have confirmation of the connector, so actually there is a possibility. Again, this is really bearish. Now this would be like silver's about to like collapse. This is the most likely path, okay? But the RSI doesn't support that the X is in place yet. The RSI actually supports this count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that count. So that's the count. So until you get more upside, this is super bearish, so I don't know what you're going to get. The super bearish essentially crash scenario, or you're going to get like something more sideways, which is more realistic. So you're just going to have to decide how aggressive you want to be or not. MicroStrategy needed more downside. That's always been another canary in the coal mine of crypto until we get to right here, 85.25. That will be a really nice buy opportunity. It looks like we're in this triangle of B, some kind of triangle consolidation. It wants one more low. So there you go. We've been patient in MicroStrategy. Again, we saw this coming. We saw this coming a mile away, and here we are. We're almost there. We're almost there. Also, I was looking, MicroStrategy is correcting like a very big cycle. I was looking at it. So with that being said, this could be a really good buy opportunity for the long term if you really want to believe in crypto, because this dip could reset the whole cycle from the beginning, which could really set you up for a lot of upside later. Just saying. So there you go. I would like to buy that, right, if that can happen. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get this sooner than later. All right, Jonathan, bull case, pullback target for the if we were to run. Okay, so we need a wave 4, okay, or another 2 if the bull case plays out. We have to get, to me, there's 2 things. This is either a 4 here and we're in 5. And if we're in 5, there's this possibility. The market peaks in 5 and then the grand super cycle's over and everyone's full. But the sequence is complete. The sequence is done. You have an impulse. You broke the high. That's it. That's one possibility. Okay, and that means there's no opportunity. There's no pullback to buy. There is no pullback. It just goes straight up and finishes with a small wave 4 somewhere in there. Now, the more probable view is right around here. You pull back and forth, fill this gap at 544, and then you go long 544, and then you either get 5 or you get another 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then you can really get out in a true wave 3, but it would have to exceed the intensity here, which would be a tall order. So more likely you get something like this, and then you could get another pullback here, and then you could buy that one. Now this one would be a lot better because you would see the 5th wave, you would see the 5 off the low, you would see the bearish divergence. Then this dip would be actually pretty good to buy, and then you'll set you up for an inverse head and shoulders breakout. And then you could get in at 536 and then ride this to 600 with very low risk, high reward versus trying to chase and guess where you still could crash, right? Which is what the bulls are doing here. But the way I trade is I look for this kind of setup and rather go long here. Then I'm putting my money to work on the long side when I see something like this. Here it's just kind of guessing. Now this 4 is also guessing too, because even if you get that gap fill in 4, it could still just continue to unravel and go down in a corrective move. It could also go deeper in another wave 2. And the 2 can go deeper. So there's a lot of not a lot, but there is risk trying to buy the first pullback down still at 544. But logically, that's where it would find support, and then you would run in wave 5 or higher. But that's the only bull case I can see. The pullback target would be 544. That's what I would look for. But ideally, I would look for the shape of the wave to support that as well. Okay, and you don't have that, so you're just kind of eyeballing it. So it's hard to get a target without having any pullback happen. All right, Ryan Toller. All right, let's take a look at your request. EVOTV. Evolve. looks like we have that here at EVLV, so I'll just do that one. It looks like we've done that before. EVLV. Did we do this one? It's on our list. I guess we don't have it labeled. All right. So it looks like 3 and 3 and 3. So it's a very tough area to trade. So you're not going to get a lot of information from this graph, unfortunately. It's just it's not a good chart to trade. Right here. Now this is 3, not 5 in C, so that's actually gives us a clue of where we're going. Okay, so so there you go. You got some upside coming. I think you have some upside coming, but more than likely, so yeah, so I would say upside coming, and then rug pull. All right, and can a rebound get us over 3 to 4 years? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I mean, it's obviously it's going higher. I think it's got another low that needs to come back down here to finish this sideways connector out like that, and then it has a big move in Y higher. And I think that's how you trade it, because it's not 5 waves here. So that's the roadmap I see, the blueprint. As you can see, it's going to destroy bears, it's going to destroy bulls, it's going to just be destruction, mass destruction, but tradable, very tradable. If you're on the right, side of it, you're going to make money on it. But I do think you got to be careful here in this area when you get up, because you broke this low and it's only in 3, not in 5, and this is clearly in 5. So this is going to be a connector for the X, and then C will be in 5. So that's the clue. This was the clue right there, that 3. Once you saw that, then you realize it's a trap. It's a bear trap, and it's going to do this expanded flat. Okay, Nick. Did cover GME earlier. I'll go back through it again just in case you missed it. GME is in a kind of a standoff between buyers and sellers. It's at a very pivotal moment, I think, in the chart. I do believe a big move is going to come. Unfortunately, the direction is unknown. I wish I could get better insight, but the chart doesn't give us really any clues other than we have moved corrective off the low. We're not. It's not a 5-wave impulse, which would indicate a bullish trend. It's a corrective trend. It looks like it wants to break down, but if it breaks down this corrective trend, it could easily break this low and head to 13 and quickly. But if it could break this high, it could create an impulse, which then would support this low and become, more bullish for much higher prices. So the market has not given us any clue. We looked at it, and really it's undetermined. It's really a coin flip, but I believe whatever move is going to happen is going to be very significant, large. So this is one where you have to be careful whatever position you take. You could hedge that position. Maybe smart to do that, or just sit on the sidelines and let it break out or break down, and then you can just kind of go with that. So I think, but right here, there's no way to really know 100% until we get more data to play out. And that's just the way it is. There's really not much more we can analyze because our futures aren't determined. Our destiny hasn't been set. We have free will as a species to make a decision, and the buyers and sellers have not decided. So Elliott Waves is not some like tarot card, future telling, like thing. Like it just shows the odds and probabilities, and right now it's showing very indecisiveness and pressure building up in the trade to the point where one side is about to get blown up. One side will be blown up, and it's going to happen soon. That's what this chart is telling me, but I can't. I mean, I don't know which side it is. So you're just going to have to pick, and then you look at all the evidence around the market. You see oil breaking down. You see the dollar index could go higher. You see the Russell could break down. You see all this evidence. The market's already pumped. I mean, could it pump any more to take GME up? You have all this evidence, so it's like maybe it just can't overcome all that headwind. But then again, maybe a roaring kitty post away from dropping something, and then this thing rips to $70, $80 before you know it. So you just don't know. We just don't know, but it is very hot. It's a very big move coming. That's my GME speech. All right, guys, I got through all my super chats. Now just scan through the comments, see what's going on. Let's look at the semiconductors. I want to go through the semiconductors real quick and just kind of give an idea, because they were the first kind of to break down. And I'm just going to show some semiconductors here, and then you guys can decide. So Amcor was one. We'll go to the daily time frame. So Amcor, you know, definitely deep enough, but looking for one more swing down when this B is finished. So looks pretty impulsive here. Maybe I could put W here and change it to WXY. AMD's in the short area, guys. Now I'm not saying to go short it. 2 could always go higher, but it is in an area where it typically fails. It's on this support, probably now resistance. So this is also a warning sign to the markets that the markets may be ready to make a big turn lower, because AMD has a long way to go. Okay, so we did see AMD turn right around when the markets peaked as well. So I'm just saying there's a possible trade opportunity on the short side here. Now like I said, there's always risk, but it's there. Okay, so that's AMD. Let's keep going. Let's look at ARM. ARM Holdings needs one more wave down for 5. You know, I don't think I'll get to 60, but 80 would be a nice entry. Dell is bouncing, and W is ended. It's now in a connector. I think Dell chops around more. This would be way too bearish to have it end here. So I think the connector has room to run. I think Dell could have some room to run higher, potentially. Then let's see. Let's go to NVIDIA real quick and look at NVIDIA. How's that one doing? Everyone's beloved NVIDIA. NVIDIA, so this is the area where you typically would see the short play out. It's still squeezing higher in B in a connector. I do believe this will fail at some point. It's actually good. The higher it goes, the higher the target raises. So just understand that as well. So I still think this is playing out. Now, this looks like very 5 waves down, but if this is labeled wrong, then and the 4 is in, well, okay, well then you just need 5, and guess what? Then wave 3 is in, and then you have a multi-year bear market for sure, because then it will be correcting the whole cycle since the dot-com bubble. So either way, either you make a marginal new high at 150 and then you collapse, or we just collapse now. So again, this is just a day trader stock. If you're hoping for moon and and the moon and billions, and you're going to be it's not going to happen. These cycles are coming to an end. Okay. Looks like I got another super chat come in. Yeah, let me look at your ADRs real quick. All right. Here, let's see here. CRZBY. Let's take a look. Whoops, something didn't happen. Oh, all right, there it is. So again, when you see stocks that look like this, essentially go to zeros, but there's always counter trend rallies. So the best way to label it is just bullish from these lows, and that's what you're seeing here. It looks like an impulse off the low with some bullish divergence there. So that's always a good sign that perhaps there's more upside, and that's how I would trade it if I was trying to trade this chart. So it looks like something like this here, something like this. and now it's correcting. Typically in the correction, you'll lose the 5 and come back down to 925. So it seems like to me you started a big correction on the weekly cycle here. As you can see, you have a weekly cycle break. So it's going to be in a downtrend for a while as this plays out, but it should find support maybe around 868 and then come out. So, but this has got to morph into a lot of a correction, something like that. The next is SMNEY, Siemens Energy. All right, so anytime you see a pump and then a lower low, that usually is a bottom that doesn't work out. But in this case, you see how your race divergence, that's actually really bullish to see that. So we're going to go ahead and call that a major low in a three-wave move. So that's good. So then we just kind of say it's bullish off this low. It looks like you're in a 1-2 already here. It looks like that's where your pullback is happening here. So it looks like we don't need to label this. It's pretty obvious that here you have 1, 2, and then you have 3 here. It's going to be hard to see. We don't have a lot of data to see if this is an impulse up or not. So it's going to be kind of flying blind. So it's either a flat and done. If it's a flat, it's finished. If it's not a flat, then it's going to make another swing lower and down. So it's tough. It's tough to say where. It's like, where do you want to put your wave 1 target? And I wouldn't probably put it there. So looking at where the RSI is, I'd probably put it there. So this looks like it's too shallow for me to call the correction over. The daily cycle probably needs to come all the way down. So I believe, again, it's in a downtrend. It should see more downside at some point when this connector ends. And then this should come back down to another low. And then maybe that's where we could find the wave 2 bottom. All right. DWHHF. Let's see here. It's another one. Don't got a lot of data, so it makes analyzing the chart really tough. But again, you know, you look at this, it's like 1, 2, it's only really 3 swings up with a blow off top, and now you're down in 3. So it's really, really a tough chart to try to play out. The buy area is actually at 2080 Fibonacci level in this area here that I have a box. You could see a reaction out of that and have a buyable dip, but you can't really analyze this. It's just not enough data. So perhaps you get lucky and you get the X to end here and you come out. But there's just not a lot of data here. You can't really analyze it that well. All right, Thomas, let's go to yours. MOWI here. Okay. Same thing. Anytime you see a stock that does that, it's pretty much dead. But that doesn't mean its connector isn't bullish. So we have looks like beautiful 5 waves off the low with great divergence. But the problem I have here is this could easily be an ABC and the connector be finished. So this is an area that I wouldn't trade at all, because if it's ABC, then this is just going to come all the way back down and go to 0. So you know, of course the other interpretation is this is some kind of major low and we go higher, right? And then we go higher. So it's 50-50. We don't have enough data to know, unfortunately. I'll go to your next one, AKAST. Same thing. Anytime you see a chart look like this stocks pretty much go to 0. But as you can see, you're in a counter trend rally. You see a race divergence there. So that is a major low. So you all have a reversal, but pretty much it has to be above this low, or the stock's you know, going to be, you know, toast. Looks like you're trying to race divergence here, but you haven't yet. So it could still be a 5th wave you're in. That would be pretty bullish if that's the case. Actually, looks like you probably have one more swing higher. Looking at this wave 5 here, you probably have one more swing up to finish that out, and then that's it, you know. So and then it should pull back, but then that should be supported. So it looks like it's coming to an end of this cycle. You'll pull back to the wave 4 area at 893 and then come out. Okay. Good luck on that. And that was, let's see, OBX is one. OBX, we have that one here. OBX is in danger of a wave 5 peak. Just like the market, let's just say that's 4, one more high, and then wipe out. Okay? So probably one more high, right? Why not? It looks like 3 waves in that 4. It looks like we should get one more high. Okay? Victoria, ELF, and yeah, let's look at ELF real quick. Let's see. We definitely called more upside. It just continued to extend higher, or did it finish a cycle there and then hit a 3? Yeah, just yeah, just peaked wave 5 extended. It's something like that. Something like that. More than likely that wave's done. That looks like five down. All right, let's go back to see if we're extending in 5 or not. All right. Yeah, I mean, you're getting a breakdown on the weekly time frame, but you don't have confirmation that the top is in yet until this line. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. I think once you see the weekly really break below this, then you know you have confirmation the top's in. Until then, it's possible it could continue to extend higher. It's possible. So this looks like to me you did not get that capitulation. So I think it's going to go lower. I think it's going to go lower. Okay, and it finished like a something like this, where it was an A, a B, and now we're in C, and then this was an A, a B, and a C there. Okay, something like that. And then this was down in 3, up in 3, and now we need an impulse down. So it could still go higher in 2, but I believe you got more downside. I believe that weekly cycle will break. And then you'll know you're correct in the whole grand super cycle, which really you should hit this target at 89 at the end of that. But there's no telling how long that will take because you're correct in the whole cycle from the existence of the stock is correct, and it looks like it's peaked in 5 here. But you don't have the confirmation until you get that breakdown. So there's always a chance it could fool us and go higher in 5, but it doesn't seem likely to me. Okay. Caravana. Let's see here. Yeah, Caravana, man, we've done really well. Looks like that 4 was done here. We're in 5. We're in the danger area for the wave 5 to end, but it looks like that wave 5 is not finished yet. Yeah, I would say you're picking up pennies in front of the steamroller here on this one. I mean, would I short it? I mean, you could try, get lucky, pick top tick in it. Look at all that bearish divergence, typical of a wave 5. I mean, the good thing is this really supports the structure of us being a bottom, but the bad news is it's got a big drop coming. It probably, my guess is probably come back down to 87 here. That's what I'm thinking. All right, good luck on that. Ryan Toller. Yep, let's see. Yeah, as you can see, guys, the general theme is everything's peaking or peaked, right? I mean, is it a coincidence? Am I wrong on all these charts? I mean, I don't know. So, I mean, I know I'm telling people, you know, just saying a lot of stuff is coming to the end. It's not starting up. It's coming to the end. End of the move. You're coming in at the end of the bull market. The bull market is coming to an end, guys. You're late to the party. If you're trying to buy here, you're way late to the party. All right, so when you see this again, the lower low like that, it's just a go to zero type stock, bearish divergence. So this is probably some like wave 5 here that will counter trend when it's finished. You're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably need one more low, and then you'll have a big counter trend move. As you can see, you have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then once you make that low, you'll have a counter trend bounce, but it looks like it's got more downside coming. SSLLY. Let's see here. I guess it's this one. I'm just gonna pick it. I don't know if that's the one or not. Oh, so let me go back. SLLY. Siltronic. Well, I don't see it unless that symbol's wrong. All right, so that symbol must be wrong. So you're going to have to type it in. I got to skip it over. INRLF. And again, not seeing it. I have this one, Valenva. So I'll do that. It looks like the symbol's VALN, Valneva. Again, TradingView may not have these international symbols or something. You know, it's not like perfect. So you may want to check TradingView just to make sure. I can even look them up. All right, so let's see here. Let's take a look. It looks like 5 up here. Again, 3-wave move, corrective. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, it's so maybe we'll label it like this. And then it came out like that. So you see I have all that divergence there. Maybe more downsides needed, but we'll just go with this for now. It could extend lower, but once this 5th wave is finished here, then you should have a big counter trend rally. So to me, it looks like you need another low. But this looks too small for this looks like it should go higher. So I think you got something like this coming up. And then it perhaps could have a really big pump. Okay, I'll look at that again. EVOTV, yeah. EV EV O TV. All right, EVLV. All right. So you said how far can the rebound get us over 3 to 4 years? Well, the the problem is I don't do time like the Elliott wave system doesn't get timing right. Well, it doesn't do timing. It doesn't get right. It doesn't even do it. So there's you're gonna to get timing. You're gonna have to follow other people. But I'll give you my as a trader and like a market participant, like from my experience, what I think. So if this is 24 in August, so 3 to 5 years out, how high could this go? So more than likely we'll be in Y by then, maybe the end of Y. Okay, so what you're looking for is this. So where could that end up, right? Where can that end up? Well, the length of W is a good place to start to give you an idea. So it could probably get to $12 or $13, somewhere around there in 3 to 5 years, maybe somewhere around this area conservatively. Now with these wild waves, it can really squeeze a lot higher. So you just don't know. But I think in 3 to 5 years we'll be through this mess. You're going to be somewhere in here, and hopefully probably at the end of Y, or it's just starting to reverse out of that. Is my guess. That's what I'm thinking. But as you can see, you got a lot of pain coming. So if you're hoping for, I think if you're just hoping for this, I don't think that shit's gonna happen. So I'm just saying, I think you're gonna get a little bit of a pump here, and then a bit collapse, probably with the world markets, because the world markets are due for something like this, and then the world comes to an end, but it doesn't, and everything's saved, and everything moons again. So that's what I think is gonna happen. All right. All right, I'll try that ticker and see if I can get that to work. SLTCY. All right, yeah, let's try that. Yeah, nothing's there. Unfortunately, yeah, like I said, TradingView has got its limitations, and sometimes it doesn't even keep all the trading data out there. It tries to aggregate it all, but it's not perfect. There's other things out there, but good. I think I got everybody's super chat. Let me just scan through the comments real quick. Again, people that put stupid stuff in there, I'll be blocking and banning you from my YouTube and Twitter. So think before you do that. I think if you want to erase your comment before I look them over, because when I do this, I don't have time to read everyone's comments until I go back through them now. So let me just clear. Celsius needs one more swing lower. I am keeping an eye on that. I think you guys should too. We've been waiting for that correction to finally end. And hopefully it should be coming to an end soon. Okay? That's what we're hoping for. And boy, we've had to be patient. But we saw the signs of the breakdown, right? We didn't get, stuck in it. But there you go. But not yet. Not yet. Doesn't look like it's time yet. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate that. All right, guys. I want to say something about monkeypox. Okay. Something about monkeypox, guys. All right. I gave you the stocks that are the meme stocks, right? That people are just going to buy because, like they did, like I did. I didn't have time to research this. I needed to move quick. So I go to ChatGPT and go, give me the stock symbols that make monkeypox vaccines, and it spits out 5 of them, and I just buy 5 of them, okay? That's what people probably did yesterday, and everything mooned. Now, what's going to happen is if this monkeypox thing is the real deal, if it's the real deal. Now, there's some scary shit out there about it, okay? There's people saying it's airborne. And I follow doctors. I'm reading real MDs, guys, out there. These aren't pretend Twitter people. These are like real MDs. They're reading research back. It looks like it's aerosolized and water vapor, water droplets. Okay, you may disbelieve it. You may just say, no, that's just. But you're in denial. That's what happens in a crisis. People deny. That's the first emotion. So I think there is some kind of airborne nature to this new variant. If that's true, then you got to imagine until people are vaccinated, there's going to be lockdowns of the schools again coming and everything else. It's coming. It's just not a matter of when, not if. So to get ahead of this in the trading world, we got to go back to the stay-at-home stocks. So believe it or not, I've saved this stay-at-home basket. it's crazy to think I have to revisit this again, but we used to trade this many years ago. Stay-at-home stocks, okay? So some of these are stay-at-home stocks that may play out like Zoom video, all the stuff, Amazon could be one, people shopping again online at home. So just understand like the stay-at-home stocks may work. And if you believe that monkeypox is more than just Twitter FUD, then you want to be buying those now, like right now, tomorrow, because the general like public, the 401k mom and pop investor, they won't buy it until Zoom is back to $400. Like they're not going to buy, but what they realize is they're going to be in such a denial that anything's happening until their actual work is like, don't come to work. Like, so they're going to, it's got to be in front of their face like that. And that's when the market will panic. It wasn't until the NBA shut down because of COVID, then the market like dumped. Like the market was in denial. Oh, it's not coming to the US. COVID can't come to the US. Oh, it's never coming here. Oh yeah, we're immune from the laws of virology that, and epidemiology. They don't apply in the United States. Like I'm like, holy shit guys, it's coming. So we loaded up on that stuff way in February. So here we are. We could be 30, 40 days out of that. So I'm just saying, if monkeypox is a thing, now's the time to act on it. Go out there, buy the stay-at-home stocks again. Go buy the vaccine stuff. Hold it, and you get lucky. You make a lot of money. The thing is, we don't know what's going to happen. My guess is if it plays out, if it's airborne, they'll shut everything down until people are vaccinated. They don't have enough vaccines. Of course, it's the clusterfuck of vaccines. People don't believe in them, so half the population won't take them, no matter what you say. And then there are going to be mandates because, you just know it's going to be chaotic. So we have to really hope it's not airborne. But there's a lot of MDs saying there is on there. And also they're saying that it's more deadly, this new strain of monkeypox, depending on what you read out there. I found literature that said fatality rates 5% in adults, 10% in kids. If it's really that fatal in kids, do you think Johnny and Susie are going to be going to school? Hell no. They're going to be locked in their bedrooms from everybody. Like, no parent is going to let Johnny and Susie go out in public where you have a 1 in 10 chance of your kid dying, right? If that's true. Now, again, I don't know if that's true. I'm just reading what I'm reading. Again, there's a lot of doctors out there posting stuff, a lot of literature. Go follow it. I follow a few of them. They were early in COVID. They were the same folks I followed in COVID and got me ready as a trader, as an investor, and even my profession. And they were all right. They were all right. So I'm just saying, don't listen to them. Be in denial. It's a crisis that is emerging. But a lot of humans, they deny. That's the first thing, denial. Then eventually you get to acceptance. But the sooner you accept the facts out there, the more you can prepare, because the ones that are prepared make the most money. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys, and you have a good day. Enjoy your trading, and I really appreciate it. Oh, it looks like before I leave, I got one more super chat here. One more super chat. All right, I'll do yours, and I got to go after that. So I got things to do today. ING, how's that one doing? That's been one we've looked at in the past here. So trying to get out of this buy area, but the problem is, again, like most of crypto, broke up pivots. So we tried to come out here on this, and we broke it. So it's going to take a deeper correction now in wave 2. We'll go take another swing lower, which is what it's doing. So we have a connector. So we have a WXY here, down, and this is going down here. Okay, so where could it go? Well, again, you've got 3. Now this was a pretty big move, but in 3. So theoretically, as long as we could get divergence erased, and you almost did, I think we're looking for one more push lower, just like the rest of crypto, and then it should bottom out. I mean, it's gonna be hard to find a target given the way this looks, but somewhere in this area. Okay, so I think it's got one more swing down, but I want to see the divergence. That's not good enough for me, but I think it's got another swing low coming. DVPN. Looks like we've done that one too before. That one did hit a buy area and it's held structure. So that one hit our buy area. It pretty much moons right after we got the buy. It looks like a beautiful 5 waves up, 3 wave down. So this one looks really good. This one looks very healthy. This one looks healthy, right? Very obvious impulse, right? And then 3 waves down. Could be a big breakout potential. Of course, if you break this low, it's all negated. It will take another swing lower. But to me, that's what it looks like. It looks pretty good to me. Rose. Rose did the double correction too. That one looks good for capitulation. Nice 3 legs, 3 legs. So more than likely, that's probably the low there. And that's in the buy area. So I'm willing to bet that that's already bottomed here and it's trying to come out of the low, and it's just going to take some time to build a bottom, form a bottom. That looks like 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like 3 down. So same thing. Looks like this should be coming out. And band, I believe band, not the band, the coin. I would assume you mean bandwidth. If you could put in the chats. If you could put in the chats, you mean bandwidth, because I think last time I did ban the coin, someone said that's not what I want. So let's see. So we're still stuck in this B wave, it looks like. My guess. So we're still stuck in that B wave. Could it be over? It's possible. It looks like it's more downside in B coming. So it's something like this. So we're still kind of in this connector area. But until we erase that divergence here, it won't find the low. It won't find the low to find this pump. Ban coin. Okay, you were on ban coin. All right, so I didn't know. Yeah, somebody wanted banned before I did ban coin and they freaked out. So ban. So problem with this one, last time I looked at it, is it broke the all-time low right here, right there. So now that opens us up for the next buy area is at 45 cents. It looks very impulsive going down. So I would be looking for like a 3-wave move down, and then hopefully you get lucky and you can buy it there. Okay. So I definitely would say more downsides needed. The thing is, you could still be in this connector where you get an A, B, C, and then drop. But I would be looking for it to drop into this area, given that low broke. And I'm looking for something like, down like that to finish this out. So good luck with that, Bancoin. All right, yeah. So good luck, guys. Wave 5 can be longer than wave 3. There's no rule. Wave 3 just can't be the shortest. If I have it the shortest, then it's I messed up somewhere, and I can do that. Look, I'm doing so many symbols, right? I can make a mistake. Yeah, I do think GME's got a lot of news coming. It's a big move coming. If oil's going down, nat gas should go down too. So it's all about my oil forecast. If oil will drop like I see it's doing, nat gas should fall with it, and you would not want to own oil. Tesla's in an area that should reverse at any moment and take another swing down. I'm not saying short it, but it is in an area where people that are brave enough could decide to short it and maybe make a lot of money. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Good luck trading, and we'll try to maybe do another live